Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream all of my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so today we're just going to be adding some final touches to our build from last night. So we had a few issues with the stream in terms of the internet quality and stuff, and it ended up cutting out partway through. When we did eventually get it to post, there was some issue with the RGB lighting that I had to troubleshoot, and basically I plugged my daisy chain in reverse. So yeah, just a silly mistake on my behalf there, so there was no issue with the lighting at all. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to put some finishing touches on it just to make sure that this build is just perfect. So what we'll start with, we'll start taking off these panels again. So you might be looking at this and going, oh, it looks pretty good, but we always do a little bit of sort of fine tuning before we deliver them to the customer. So what I noticed is a little bit of untidy cables up here. I want to do something with that. Around here, some of those cables are crossed over there. Just want to make sure that these are nice and tight. Got a bit of an exposed cable here from this RGB strip. A little bit of stuff around there. So we just want to make sure all of this is secure and looking good, and we can't see any cables that are looking out of place anywhere inside the PC. So to get started, I'll find my screwdriver. It's a little bit embarrassing when you start a stream and you forget your main tool. It's because I wasn't doing a build. So what we're going to do while I look for the screwdriver is these cables at the top that are running up through here, we're going to run them behind the motherboard so they just come over the top and go onto those headers. So that will make it look a lot cleaner. So where my screwdriver is. Well, shit, I'm not going to get far without a screwdriver. I mean, I've always got a screwdriver. So what we might start by doing is dealing with this RGB cable down here. So what I'm going to do, I'll lay it down. We're just going to unscrew two of these fan bolts. So we don't have to undo them all the way. Just do them part way. We need to get one bolt out. Actually no, we'll take them both out because that'll conceal it better. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this RGB cable. We're going to slide it behind this fan. Just loosen this back a bit. It's a bit easier. There we go. Now it's just the right length. Just had to get it under that fan slightly. Just make sure this is in position right, because you don't want to run a cable directly under these fans, because yeah, it could impact the airflow a little bit, but mainly you don't want anything obstructing the... Oh, see, we've got a little bit of an obstruction there. Oh, yeah. So this is what you got to be careful of. You got to kind of run the cable around the outside. Where are we? So making contact a little bit around here. Just push that up. There we go. Excellent. And so it's a small little touch there, but now I know that that cable is held in place securely. Oh, getting a little bit of contact from that. Just make sure that's out of reach there. Yep, that's fine. So that's all good. You can tuck this away back there. Oh, hey everyone. Hey Nick, how you going? Good to have you with us. Who else is here? Bianca's here. Hey Bianca.
Watched this earlier this morning. It looks really good. I love the dynamic white.
It's a beautiful, it is a beautiful case. It really is.
That's a piece living in a new piece in there. Thanks again.
No worries, man. So that's looking pretty good. So now we'll lift it back up. Is we'll deal with this mess of cables up the top. So what we're going to do, I'm going to unplug these. Okay. Can I stash this? No. Alright. So these ones along the top here, they're concealed pretty well. I don't mind the black cables going down there, that's fine. I don't mind this white cable, but I sort of don't like these black cables being there. So we'll do something about that as well. So that means I'll have to pull out some of these cables here. Okay. Yeah, alright, we'll do something about... Yeah, I just broke the case. Okay. Fan extender there, and there's those fans. Alright, sweet. So, what we'll do is we're gonna loosen a few of these bolts, and then we're basically gonna feed the cables behind the motherboard, and we're just gonna have them just come over the top and clip onto the various headers. And so that'll leave us with a very clean look. How can I have lost my other screwdriver? Here it is. So for this, I'm going to have to remove this panel that I was like, oh, I don't want to remove it last night. Seems like more work. Have you seen my screwdriver, babe? I haven't seen my actual screwdriver, and it's a bit good. I need to get like a secondary set of screwdrivers.
Oh, here it is. Aha!
Ah, nice. Very nice. There we go. So remove that. We'll also remove the 3 top bolts of our motherboard. And this will allow us just a little bit of flex in order to feed these cables through nice and easily. And this is one of the small little nuances of the Lian Li Dynamic 11 case when you build in one. If you've got a cooler or something mounted to the top, or you're doing this in a black case, it's not as big a deal. But in the white case, yeah, this is definitely worth doing. The black case looks fine, it's all black, but in a normal case you'd probably be top mounting your radiator so it covers up all this stuff so you don't have to worry about it. But on this case we've got, you know, a lot of white there, so, you know, ideally I want to try to get this cable to go out here with this other white cable. How we manage that? No, that's not gonna. Oh, I could probably do this. Oh no, wait, that's where that clip clips in. No, I can't do that. What we can do is we can just run it kind of down behind the motherboard once we get our other cables in. It's the same with this. We can just sort of stash the length of this behind the motherboard. And then that can just get hooked onto the CPU header. Fan header. So we'll poke that around from the back of the motherboard there. If only I had a white one, that'd be nice. But this will do. Why does that not feel like it's on there? That's why it doesn't feel like it's on there. Excellent. So I've got those two stashed away nicely. Actually, this will look better. Because I've got one of these same cables right in next to it. You can hardly even see them. They just hook over the top there. Maybe if we... Yeah, there you go. Get a better look at it there. Alright, so we've got these two cable extenders there. We're going over those two headers. And what we're going to do is, because we want to send these white cables over here to the same spot, I'm going to plug the CPU pump into this header here, which is fine. That like all the headers, just because it's marked CPU, doesn't mean you have to have the CPU on that header. It just means that if you don't have something on the header, it might trigger an alarm saying that there's no CPU fan installed and your computer might not boot, depending on the motherboard and the BIOS that it's running. So what we'll do, we'll just get these and we'll just stash them behind the board there. Just like that. And there we have the top of our case looking quite tidy. Not really too much in the way. Like I'll tie down these with like a white zip tie and they'll be all together. It'll just be that one cable up there. So we can reinstall this clip here. You won't be able to see any of that. So we'll have a very nice, clean looking build at the end of the day. No cable mess anywhere. The only cables that are coming out are the ones that we need. So we've got actually every fan header on the board populated. So all of our fans can receive all the power that they need. There's only these two headers that have splitters on them, so there's not going to be any issue with our fans not being able to run at full speed because of voltages or anything like that. So really good setup, and that's the advantage of having a motherboard that's got the 8 fan headers on it. So
bottom ones are touch
which ones?
the graphics card cables.
No, they're not.
They just sit on the plastic.
No, they're sitting on the plastic. I'm just just this one here. I'm just trying to run this fan cable on an angle, and it's like just touching. There you go. That's all good. It's all good. All right. So if some of you are thinking, oh, is it okay to run cables behind the motherboard? It certainly is if you've got good insulated cables that aren't going to degrade over time. I would worry about really cheap ones maybe. But if they're decent quality cables, you know, like with thick rubber coatings on them, like what you'd see on, like, say, like a power supply.
Everyone on Facebook is going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone watching you on Twitch.
It's a weird time of day to be doing this, though. People normally watch us at night. Anyway, I think this looks chained up right. I did have to change a couple of things around the back there. So let's fire it up. Let's have a look how she looks. Let's get some peripherals going on. Okay. All of our RGB elements are lit. Our device is in Windows. And our fans are on maximum. Let's quieten her down. Alright. Go into our system information viewer. We can go into our fans. We can turn them back down to quiet. We've got so many fans, I mean, we don't really need them running at full speed like that. So, I will grab a white zip tie. And we'll just put that like that. Alright. So that is looking fucking sexy. Christine will take better photos of it soon. Because it won't be as awesome with the lighting and everything that we've got in here, yeah. But I think you get the idea. It's a very pretty machine. Just having a quick look, making sure there's nothing that would annoy me if it was mine. No, I just need to obviously tie our motherboard back down. But that is ready for Lee to pick up. Oh man, I'm jealous. But that's what we do, we build PCs, so you get some good ones that come through, and you know, and not every day we do a build like this, but we build PCs for real people, so every build's a little bit different. Some of them are absolutely immaculate like this, spared no expense, and then others are obviously cheaper, but it doesn't matter. They're all PCs, they're all cool. At the end of the day, you got to think when you buy a new PC, it's all well and good to look at what the highest spec one is and compare everything to that. But what you got to think about, for a lot of people, they're upgrading from an older, slower PC, and even like a budget or mid-range computer these days is going to be awesome for them. So there's no need to talk down to people who aren't getting great computers like this just because it's not as high spec. For them, coming from what they've got, it's going to be as amazing as this looks. So don't discount the crappy ones as well as such. So anyway, I'll leave it with you, but I just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight to what I do sort of after we complete a build and I do the stress test on them and all that. This is the sort of final little bits and pieces that we do before we give the computer over to a customer. So hope you enjoyed this short video, and we'll catch you in another video coming up soon.